Hey guys! So you got yourself a fresh new sketchbook, and usually what you do is you skip the first page because you're just too afraid to mess it up, right? That's why today I will be sharing some tips on what you could do with the first page to avoid the fear and to actually use it to make the first page useful. The first idea is simple. Why not starting off the sketchbook with your signature? You can even practice different ways how you would sign your artwork. And you can also decorate it and make it your own. The purpose of a sketchbook is not to create a perfect portfolio to show everyone on the planet that will judge you. A sketchbook is there to experiment, to have fun, to practice, and to even create bad art. So the first page, even if everyone fears to ruin it, it's not that important. I know we all usually skip it, but why don't we just start using it to overcome this thought of making everything look perfect? The next idea is also very simple, and that is swatching your watercolors or acrylic paints or any other art supplies you have. You can divide the page into sections and apply the paint, and you can also write down the names of the colors. A sketchbook is also not only there to practice your art, but also getting familiar with your art supplies, with the medium. So for example, if you buy new paints or pens, you want to get familiar with it first. How does the paper react with your paints? Is the paper smooth enough for the pens? Do these pens even work? So it's a great way to use the first page to just do that. And it's okay to make it not look perfect. I forgot that my colors were switched, that's why I added the wrong names to the swatches, but I fixed it. The next idea is to create a watercolor chart where you can see what colors you will get by mixing certain colors together. All you need to do is to create a grid first. So I have 12 colors, that's why I created a grid with 12 by 12 squares, and then I started writing down the names of the different colors I have. So I wrote down the first color next to the first square on the left and to the right side. And then the second color next to the second square on the left and the right side, and so on. And then you can go ahead and fill them in. The way it works is you want to mix the colors that are on the left with the colors that are on the right, one by one. I started with the colors I already had, and that will stay the same. So lemon yellow with lemon yellow, and red with red, and so on. And then you can mix the others together using your palette. This is a great way to see all the possible color shades and tones you can create just by using the colors you already have. This will take some time, but it's fun and relaxing and super useful when you start painting. You will be able to see what colors you could use and how you can achieve them. But you can also test the color mixing and their opacity with another great technique. Here you want to create a grid as well, and then instead of painting one square one by one, you can just paint the whole horizontal line with one color. You might want to skip one row in between and then go back when the paint has dried. Now once the first layer of paint is dry, you can go ahead and do the same but using the vertical column. So here I started with my lemon yellow and then applied the paint all over the first column. Make sure you don't use too much water and don't press down the brush too firmly. You might just reactivate the paint and smudge everything. And even if it does happen, it's okay. This is also a great way to test your paints, how you should use them, and also to train yourself not to worry too much if the end result is not perfect. Another idea how you can use and make your first page useful is to create color wheels. You can create several wheels for different colors, for the primary, secondary colors, or to divide warm and cool colors. You might even want to experiment with different color combinations and see what colors work together, so whenever you think about an art piece, you could look at the page and see what colors you could use for your art to make it look cohesive and interesting. The next idea is also very simple, and that's masking some areas of your paper with washi tape or artist tape and then fill in the page with different colors. I think what we are afraid the most when it comes to new sketchbooks or just art in general is the fear of a blank page or a blank canvas. It's really intimidating to stare onto a white page and thinking about how you can add art to this piece of paper that at the same time looks amazing. So we feel pressured to instantly create a masterpiece. But that's why we have these sketchbooks, and we usually forget about that. In those we can experiment, test things out, and come up with an idea that actually works. But for some reason we still feel like we need to constantly create masterpieces, even when it comes to sketchbooks. So putting down some paint and some brush strokes can make a huge difference. Then the paper is not empty anymore and we can work from here. You can again test out your pens and see if they work properly, or in my case, I discovered that my beloved white pen is empty, and that's a disaster. The important thing is to just get started, even if what we do doesn't make sense. I believe the reason why we think that everyone's sketchbook looks amazing and that everyone is even better in doodling than us is just because that's someone else's drawings and paintings. Someone else's drawings will always look better to us than our own art. I don't even know why that is. You can have two amazing artists next to each other and both will think that the other person's art is so much better. And this is why, again, we shouldn't compare ourselves and just focus on our art, because our art comes from us and it's unique. So why do we always have to compare it with someone else? It will always be different. The next idea is great if you like to use acrylic paints or want to test them out. All you need to do is add some drops of paint to the paper in the colors of your choice, and then use a plastic card to scrape them all the way down to the bottom of the page. I really love this technique because it looks so awesome and it's so simple. And here we already created a full page with art. Now you can use this as a background, for example, and maybe glue something on top, or you can also write down a quote or just a word on top, whatever you like. Remember that we just want to get started. We want to train ourselves to not stress and to use each page for experimenting, for expressing ourselves. And that's the whole point of art anyway. So allow yourself to do that, to even create bad art. Who knows, you might even end up with an idea that you really like and you can keep working on. And if it looks horrible, it's okay. It's better to think, good thing I tested it out, now I know better, instead of still sitting in front of a white page and questioning your life decisions. And that's what the last idea is all about, experimenting. Play with your art supplies, just relax and have fun. There's this quote I found that says, "Do it simply because you enjoy it and see where it takes you." Don't put so much pressure onto yourself thinking about creating a masterpiece every time you open your sketchbook. That's not the point. And remember that you don't have to show it to anyone. It's just for you. So even if you just scribble something down, that's okay. At least you moved your hand and your pen to practice. A lot of us waste so much time comparing ourselves with others, wishing we were as good as someone else, instead of spending this time actually working on our skills to get actually better. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, be sure to give this video a thumbs up to support this channel. It will mean a lot to me. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more arts and crafts related videos and to click on the bell button to get notified whenever I upload a new video on Thursdays and on Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye!